Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. The UK is in decline. That's not a surprise to anyone with eyes or ears or any amount of grey matter between them. But part of them being in decline is the institutions, which have become the sort of backbone of culture, or was at one point anyway. And one of them is the public broadcaster, so the BBC. Now that's in decline and has been, it's not really in decline to be honest, it's dead, right? Like it's completely dead. It's been overrun by subversives. They're pushing nonsense rhetoric and bizarre narratives out, and just propaganda, effectively. But now it's been revealed that the UK government may force YouTube to promote the BBC, promote their services, promote the shows that they've got going on. Basically, it's just nonsense. It's just nonsense. So I saw this, and I couldn't quite believe it, to be honest. UK broadcast regulator says the Doctor Who home, so the BBC, and other national channels won't survive without forced promotion on YouTube. How about you just make some good bloody products? How about you do that? How about you stop flooding the country with people that, you know, you're going to really struggle to appease, and therefore when you do try to appease them, you disenfranchise the native population who you could easily appease. Like, just stop doing this stuff. You know, this is going to lead to economic collapse. There's so many micro economies that will just completely fall apart due to what the governments have been doing for decades now. It's absolutely absurd. So I saw this, like I said, I thought we'd take a look at this because it is comical. There's been some rhetoric of this before, and I have done some videos on this. The UK government was going to force, like, anyone that used Netflix to be like a license fee payer as well. It's just so absurd. Any amount of money, we're just going to milk you dry of cash just to pay for just absolute crap, even though the foreign aid budget is still high. Like, you can't say you've got a £50 billion black hole whilst giving money abroad. Don't do it. Like, those things don't marry up, obviously. Anyone with a brain would be like, just stop doing one. Stop doing one, and then the other won't appear, or the other will be minimized. How about you just do that? But anyway, whatever. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Do turn the bell notifications on. Let's take a look at this. I'll leave this article link down below as well. But basically, it says this: July was a rotten time to be on the internet, which is true. So the UK Online Safety Act, encompassing far more than adult material, with similar laws in the works in Europe and the US. So that all came into effect, right? Which is just nonsense. I mean, the UK Online Safety Act is a means to basically just clamp down on what people are looking at and talking about online, mainly because, you know, the indigenous natives are sick of the country being flooded with third worlders, and so the UK government is using the Online Safety Act as a means to silence people, or at least monitor them at the very least, which is just ridiculous. So YouTube is checking American users' age with their ID, or not so infallible AI starting this month. And Google is threatening to sue Australia over the inclusion of YouTube in their social media ban for children under 16. So now the UK's Office of Communications, Ofcom, has recommended services such as YouTube to promote UK programming from public broadcasters believed to be, quote, endangered, as they lag behind Google's video streaming service. Well, if you made good product, mate, if you made good product, it wouldn't be endangered, would it? It just wouldn't be. So ridiculous. So ridiculous. Absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. And the UK government won't allow the BBC to die because it is their propaganda arm. The UK government, whatever government it is, Labour, Tories, whatever, soon to be Reform, they will all and have all colluded with the BBC to socially engineer narratives. So the Financial Times reports that Ofcom, a regulatory and competition authority for broadcasting, internet and postal industries, declared a need for prominence and discoverability on digital platforms like YouTube for media from public service broadcasters. Well, pay for adverts then. Actually, don't, because then that comes out of, you know, license fee payers. But if you want that, pay for it. So these networks described as endangered would include Doctor Who's Home, BBC One, BBC Two, ITV, Channel 4 and Channel 5. Again, they're endangered because they're not creating stuff that people want. What do you expect? So per Ofcom's official report, quote, "It is critical that the PSBs and YouTube work together." Is it? Is it really? To ensure that PSB content is prominent on its service. I don't want it on YouTube, thank you. And on fair commercial terms. Well, the fair commercial term is you pay for it. This is important for PSM to continue to connect with all audiences, particularly for news, which supports democracy, and for UK children's programming, which helps young audiences learn and grow. The news supports democracy, does it? Yeah, sure, mate. Sure. The UK is effectively an autocracy anyway. The uni party is such a joke. Not even that, it's a bureaucracy, right? We're run by civil servants. Whitehall. So Ofcom also prompted the notion that the UK government should contemplate if such a move requires legislation. Ah, amazing. Amazing. Especially to aid news or children's programming, as the UK's Media Act does with TVs and similar devices, ensuring such programs are among those seen first on home screens. Right now, an ever-growing amount of viewers, especially younger ones, are turning to online platforms for their news and entertainment. This is bad news for the BBC and other national broadcasters, because said law does not apply to streaming outlets. Yeah, because those news outlets are dog shit. That's why. So according to Ofcom, public service media content is fighting to be seen and heard. No one wants to go to it. The BBC's renowned liars. Like, renowned liars. We know that they lie all the time. As data reveals that, quote, "Viewers now spend less than half of their in-home viewing on linear TV, and this is declining. As people move online, they're watching programs on a much larger range of services." Yeah, because they're dog shit. Broadcasters' video-on-demand players only account for 9% of all viewing, significantly less than subscription streaming services and video sharing platforms, Ofcom further noticed. I mean, look at this, yeah. So that's why they're going after YouTube now. In 2024, an average week saw less than half of the 16 to 24-year-old demographic watching broadcast TV, with younger demographics spending even more time on YouTube. Furthermore, specifically in regards to even younger demographics, the regulatory body also admits that they do not have a comprehensive understanding of what content is served to children on VSPs like YouTube and what they choose to watch, including how frequently they discover and view content from UK PSBs. However, the likelihood is that much of their viewing is not PSB content. Yeah, because it's crap, mate. Young people's current viewing and listening habits are a risk for the PSBs and overall aims of PSM in the longer term if they do not gravitate towards PSB services as they get older. Basically, we're dying out. We're going to force you to keep us on life support. What is this? This is mental. If no action is taken, the very existence of the PSB will be threatened. Good. Time is running out to save this pillar of UK culture and way of life. You killed it yourself. You killed it yourself. Now, go into the grave that you dug. Alright? Just curl up and die. You're not wanted. Among Ofcom's many recommendations for action, the regulatory body asked for streamlined regulation, which strips away any outdated, unnecessary restrictions, specifying that, quote, "the majority of the current legislative and regulatory framework was designed for a linear world. It needs a fundamental review to determine what is required to support audiences as they shift their viewing and listening online and to encourage growth and innovation." Well, it's doing just fine by itself, mate. We don't need you to get involved, actually. You can piss off. You don't need to support audiences. They're fine. So in a separate report, the Financial Times shared more of Ofcom's grim findings, albeit based on those watching YouTube on their TV, rather than a computer or phone. Google's streaming platform is the second most watched TV service across the UK. This beats out ITV, but it was not reported how far behind it was from the BBC. Ofcom Strategy Director Ed Layton revealed, quote, "Scheduled TV is increasingly alien to younger viewers, with YouTube the first port of call for many when they pick up the TV remote. Specifically, 1 in 5 of those born after 2010 in the UK watch YouTube as their first viewing choice on TV." And you know why they do, don't they? Because someone holding a camera has more on-screen charisma, right, than some just like nepotistically picked loser for the BBC. They have more authenticity. And often, YouTubers actually have higher production values than the BBC. Right? They genuinely do. Like car content, for instance, on YouTube is amazing. It's actually amazing. These losers have got no idea what they're competing with. You can't compete with it. It's not just the young that are turning away from PSB, as over 55s reportedly doubled how much time they spent on YouTube. PSB's TV broadcast viewing figures have declined since 2024, and growth in their online services hasn't offset this. Basically, it's dead. They killed it themselves. It's mental. It is mental. And they're going to try and force it. They're going to try and force them. No, mate. No thanks. You killed it. You killed it yourself. Go away. Just, again, get in that grave you dug for yourself and just die, mate. Just die.